All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. Going to be Degeneration X in your house. Go. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into this, man. This was the aftermath of the Montreal screw
Yeah.
job. Morale was not very good at this point. There were several exits out of the company, including one that kind of affected this night, and a few matches that I felt like this was also a throw together pay per view. The matches, some of these matches didn't make any
Didn't make any
sense,
sense, yeah.
especially when you had rivalries elsewhere.
Well, it's just amazing how the Click, DX, the Click, whatever you want to call them, they pulled all these shenanigans backstage. They cause all this drama. Sean causes all this drama, and then they say, "Hey, we're gonna name a pay-per-view after you." It's unbelievable.
Because at this point, this is the future of the company going forward.
Yeah. Well, sort of.
That
Well,
DX is going to take them into the Attitude Era through 1998. Of course, they did not know Shawn Michaels was going to get hurt
yeah.
because, from what I remember back then, after WrestleMania, there was supposed to be a huge program between Shawn and Triple H because Shawn was going to be booted out of DX regardless. Unfortunately, we never got to see that, and that was the idea popping up in Vince's head. But when Shawn got hurt, it was just, okay, he's leaving anyway. So let's get into it, man. Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler had the call December 7th, 1997 from Springfield, Massachusetts. Whole whopping 6,358 people in hands for this one.
I love how in the beginning, and I'm going to get into this further on in the show, I love how in the beginning they say, this is the return of Jeff Jarrett. As if anybody cares. Broke 6,000 guitars, never drew a dime. And they also said this is the debut of Jeff Jarrett. I don't know if you know.
I caught that.
Mike,
and I'm like, wait a minute, we've seen him before twice.
Anyway,
his match made no sense.
Yeah, I'll get into Jeff Jarrett later. Don't worry, guys.
By the way, the main event also made no sense. I'll get to that later too. All right, opening match of the night was for the tournament, the finals of the light heavyweight tournament. It was Takamichi Noku. I got used to hearing Brian Christopher versus Brian Christopher. Now this is the only rivalry in the light heavyweight division, and the only two guys that stay relevant.
Yeah,
everybody is a one and off.
Taka was actually pretty good. He just unfortunately he couldn't speak English, so he couldn't like really connect with the people. But I thought he was actually a decent wrestler, and I did like I liked his music. I liked his.
Oh yeah. I mean, they signed him to a 10-year contract back then, which was unheard of. And once they turned him heel, his career was over.
Pretty much. And I always felt Brian Christopher actually had talent.
He did.
I felt it's just I guess he had personal demons or whatever. He just never really took off. But I felt like he had it.
Well, he did with Too Cool in the tag team.
But that's more of like a comedy. Like I'm talking about. I thought he could have been like an IC champion, like that type of. He could have been that guy. I felt at least. I don't know.
There's no question that he did have the talent and that he could do it in the ring. Yeah. And of course, you got to love the thing where they're trying to play it off where he's not Lawler's kid.
Yeah. How about the Jerry's kid chant or Jerry's son chants in the beginning of the match? They're like Jerry's son, Jerry's. That always made me laugh when he's like, Jerry's like, what are you talking about?
This isn't my son.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you hear Brian Christopher laugh,
the same
as Lawler.
You get the voice was the same when
even in his face you could see. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was actually a good match. This was the perfect two guys for, unfortunately, the lack of talent they had in the light heavyweight division. These were the perfect two guys to be in the finals of the tournament. They left it all out there. Mm-hmm. Brian Christopher got busted open, in his mouth during the match. Of course, you see Jerry Lawler go and check on his son, and Lawler's like, "Oh yeah, that's not your kid. You wouldn't be going out there if it was anybody else, would you?" This was a good time limit on the match too. It was about 12 minutes. It's funny, Brian Christopher goes for his finisher, the Tennessee Jam on Taka Michinoku, the flying leg drop. He missed it. Taka got him with the Michinoku driver and gets the pin. And he's presented the light heavyweight title.
The inaugural.
Lightweight. It was cheesy looking design.
It looked like garbage. I like how Jerry Lawler was like, he cheated.
Yeah, he cheated. Okay, and this feud will go through well through 1998. Yeah. Gerald Briscoe, Pat Patterson, and Tony Gurria presented Taka with the title. So congratulations to Taka. He's the first ever light heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, this division is not going to go anywhere. Not until at least WCW shows up and they change it to the Cruiserweight Championship. And even then, it's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. They're not WCW when it comes to the Cruiserweight division. No comparison. So following this, they showed what happened last Monday on Raw between the Los Boricuas, DOA, and the Nation and the Truth Commission. The whole battle between them in the Four Corners match.
Nobody cares.
Because our next match is actually Los Boricuas versus DOA. Now, this was changed to a 6-man tag team match because of the Montreal Screwjob. They said that Crush was away due to injury, but in fact, he left partially because of what happened. Like I said in the beginning, there were several exits out of the company because of
he was
this.
hurt. I'm not sure.
Well, they used it as an injury, but he exited the company. He left right after the.
I thought Foley. I don't know. I always thought Foley was the only one that walked out, but I don't know.
Who?
Foley. Remember Foley walked out the night after Montreal. He didn't show up to Raw.
Yeah, well, that was probably just I don't know. He came back, obviously. But
he came back a day later.
Crush didn't. Crush walked out saying, because they said the British Bulldog. They'll mention later on during this, in the main event, actually, that the Bulldog is injured. Meanwhile, he's already gone.
He's gone, yeah.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart got humiliated. He's gone.
Because he can't. They painted DX, spray painted him, and they wrote WCW on him.
Yeah. And so Crush is now no longer with the company. So this became a 6-man tag team match. It was Miguel, Jesus, and Jose versus Crush, Chains, 8-Ball, and Skull.
Yeah,
this was just another gangland match that
Stinkfest.
Wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. Now the one funny part during this match was the fans were chanting to Miguel, "Shave your back." That was funny. And of course, Savio came out during the beginning. Referee says, "No, you got to get out of here." This wouldn't be the last time we got to see him, because he comes back later on. He got back in the ring. Miguel faked an injury supposedly with his knee. He stayed out on ringside. Reason why I say that is because when Chains hit the Death Valley Driver, Miguel hit a leg drop and Jose covered him for the pin, so Los Boricuas gets the victory after Savio distracted the referee. So once again, Los Boricuas beats DOA. This feud, once this feud is over, it's pretty much, what are we going to do with you guys? At least DOA, when they got down to just being the tag team that the Chains left, were at least relevant.
Right, yeah.
During a bad Legion of Doom feud.
Yeah.
But as far as the Boricuas go, one by one, they were gone, because I believe Savio, beginning at 98, middle of 98 was gone as well. So now following this, Doc Hendricks had interviewed Butterbean on the upcoming Tough Man match. Jesus.
This is the forgotten Butterbean match, because all anybody remembers is WrestleMania.
Exactly, Bart Gunn.
Bart Gunn, yeah. But
nobody remembers that Mark Merrow.
Yeah, marvelous Mark
Merrow. Now, Michael Cole had interviewed Sable, who was actually at Butterbean's boxing match
the night before. Yeah,
yeah, and they showed what led up to this.
She was a ring. I think she was a ring girl, right?
Yeah.
A ring girl.
Shoot, definitely an interesting ring girl. Of course, Mark Merrow interrupted the interview. I did not like this gimmick that they had for Merrow.
They were just burying him, man. Like I don't know if they were doing it on purpose to get Sable over.
It sounded like it.
Or they were trying to do like a Macho Man Elizabeth thing, but it didn't work, man. And
all
it did was get him more and more like negative, like go away heat. Like not the good heat where the fans boo you because you're such a great heel. It's the X-Pac heat where they're like, we don't want to see you. Get the hell out of here. We don't care about you. All we care about is Sable. They didn't do him any favors. Sable was over as hell. We've said this before. But they killed Mark Merrow with this gimmick.
They seriously did. And they did him no justice going to WrestleMania.
No.
And even going further with
I felt bad. He's a genuinely nice person. Like from what interviews I've seen with him, he seems like a genuinely good human being. And pretty much everybody likes him, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, he does a lot of work with Diamond Dallas Page now with the yoga stuff.
Yeah. He's a motivational speaker, I think, too.
Yeah, he's still in good standings with Sable. Well, you better be, because her husband will kick your ass.
Yeah, he was in phenomenal shape though, because he bulked up when he was Marvelous. I felt like he bulked up, right?
Yeah.
Looked like he had more like weight on him. But
If they just would have kept him back as the Wild Man,
yeah, they could have tweaked
it
it.
might have worked.
They
Yeah.
could have tweaked it somehow. I know they couldn't do Johnny B. Bad because WCW owned the name and the character, so they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They didn't do him any favors. But yeah,
No, and I agree with you. I felt like they were purposely burying him
that's what it looked like to me, man. Well,
because even look WrestleMania, technically him and Sable are the fan favorite tag team facing Goldust and Luna, and they're booing the crap out of him when he's in the ring.
because he's
And
treating Sable like garbage.
actually, that was the one night I actually thought that they ended it because he was actually cheering.
Right,
He
yeah.
he high fived
But
her.
by then it was too late. By then it was just
It was because
But-
even after that, I believe at the next In Your House, he faces her. I mean, it's just getting worse until his exit, unfortunately. So we got the Butterbean Mark Merrill match. In round one, Butterbean punched Merrill right out of the ring, which was great. I enjoyed it. After round one, Mark Merrill hits Butterbean in the back of the head. I mean, this is just one of these typical WWE boxing things
it's
that's
just a
not going to
stinker.
go well.
It's just a stinker. It's just a stink
It
fest.
really is.
They had the really big gloves. They didn't. I read somewhere that they weren't allowed to use like the smaller gloves for whatever reason. I
Yeah.
guess whatever commission didn't let them do that because for whatever reason, I don't know. It gets weird with boxing, even though it's not a boxing fight. It's wrestling, but so they had to use
Yeah.
the bigger gloves, like not to get hurt. Even though these guys know what they're doing. Like Mark Merrill was a former boxer,
Yeah.
Butterbean's a boxer, so it kind of looked like kind of awkward, like with the really big
Yeah, it didn't make any
gloves,
sense.
and it was just a stink fest. And it's hard to choreograph. Like you can do it in a movie, like the Rocky movies and stuff like that, and make boxing look good. It's hard to do a fake fight in a wrestling ring. It most of the times it comes off very awkward and it doesn't look good at all. So this was a stinker.
It was. Round two, Merrill chokes out Butterbean, with his tape. At the end of round two, Merrill drop kicks him. I mean, he's trying to do everything. First of all, if he's trying to get heat, he doesn't have to. Mission accomplished. You already got that. But if you're trying to egg on Butterbean or you just doing stuff like that, it's just idiotic to me. And in round three, Butterbean knocked Merrill down, but the bell saved him. Butterbean then, throws water on Merrill, wake your ass up. Round four, another knockdown by Butterbean, but this time Merrill landed a low blow and got disqualified. And
Seen that
Butterbean gets the
before.
victory. Oh yeah, and he hits him with the stool.
Yeah. I just wanted this match to end. I just wanted.
Yeah, this was one of those what are we doing here? Things that I didn't understand. Speaking of, I don't know what the hell they're doing here. The next segment, mind you, Luna and Goldust come out, or the artist formerly known, whatever the frick you want to call him at this point. I don't know what they're doing to this.
He wasn't. He turns into Maryland Dust the next pay-per-view, right?
And No Way Out.
And No Way Out. Okay, so he's just still the artist formerly known.
But by New Year's Day, he was Baby Dust when Stone Cold stunned him and threw him in the porta potty.
It's just terrible, man.
They're lucky that when Goldust finally went back to the original character, this
has got to be Russo.
He was saved with the fans.
This has got to be Russo. I have to assume this is Russo.
This felt like another Barry job. It really did.
They were trying to make him like fit in. They were trying to change Goldust into the Attitude Era, kind of like do a different spin.
Trust me, he was already there.
It was garbage. It's garbage.
And then when he went, like I said, when he went back to being Goldust, that the fans actually cared.
Yeah.
Because they could have totally ruined him to the point where, this whole gimmick is over. Now what are we going to do with you? Because they're not going to bring him in as Dustin Rhodes. One pay-per-view in 1998 before he came back to Goldust, he went in as Dustin Runnels, and that was it. So, and then the whole thing, he's reading what he wrote, which is Dr. Seuss, Sam I Am. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. And it was supposed to be something. He was supposed to be taking a shot at his father in this promo. I think there's somewhere in there where he says something. Does he use the accent? Does he use the lisp? I think when he says something, right? Yeah.
While he's reading, he does do it,
right,
and he does the high pitched, and I don't know. I didn't like this.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Nope, I didn't like when they did this to Goldust. I liked it better when he went back to the old gimmick. This artist garbage is just no. So following, and then of course Luna just drags him to the back after this. So
that's waste.
Following this, Michael Cole interviewed the Legion of Doom. 2 weeks earlier, they had Outlaws beat them for the tag team titles. Now this is the start of You talk about being buried. Legion. I felt the Legion of Doom was being buried now by the Outlaws. I'm like, you one of the top tier tag teams in all of wrestling, and this is what you're doing. You're shaving Hawk's the
They
Mohawk. They're embarrassing them.
they basically used them to get the Outlaws over.
Yeah, and then it didn't get any worse when they started doing the whole Hawks.
Alcoholism.
alcoholism. He's running up Titantrons, and then it just,
They call the Outlaws called I think it's during it must be during a promo where they call the Outlaws call them dinosaurs. They call the Legion of Doom dinosaurs.
yeah.
And I know it's to get heat, but at the same time, it's like
I saw it as just total disrespect.
yeah, that's how I saw it. That's how I saw it.
At least at the Legion of Doom.
Combined
You do
with
this to anybody else.
Combined with everything else. Had they called them dinosaurs and then the Legion of Doom beat their asses, get the titles, then it's fine. The fact that they insult them, make them look like garbage, and then they bury them, that's disrespect as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. The one time I actually did see the Legion of Doom beat the holy hell out of them, I had mentioned this in another episode. I went to a house show. It was an 8-man tag team match inside a steel cage. It was Sean Hunter and the Outlaw. I'm sorry, Sean. It was Sean and the Outlaws versus Legion of Doom and the Undertaker. I believe there was another guy in there a long time ago, but the LOD beat the holy hell out of them in the ring. That's about the only time I've ever seen them get the upper hand on them.
But
any other time, no.
Yeah.
So our next match is for the tag team titles. It's New Age Outlaws defending against the Legion of Doom. And what's funny is twice the Outlaws tried to go to the back. The typical heel where, oh, I'm not fighting them, count me out, whatever. Gerald Briscoe stopped them, told them to get back to the ring. The LOD went for the Doomsday Device on Road Dogg. And funny, here comes the Henry Godwinn. We're going to redo this gimmick again. We're going to do this rivalry because apparently it's not over with the Godwins. Godwinn comes out, hit them both with the pail. The referee was busy, obviously, with Billy Gunn. Hawk then hits the Outlaws with the pail. The referee, seeing this, disqualifies Legion of Doom, New Age Outlaws, win the match, and keep the tag team titles.
Yeah. I think did China interfere in this match? No. I'm sorry. I was thinking about she interferes in another match.
Yeah, it's not. It's the boot camp match, probably thinking of, which is actually next, which is another one that's, oh my God. But I guess it fit with what was going on. I don't know. So Outlaws still the tag team champions. Now, once the Outlaws got established with the fans and DX became fan favorites, I started liking them. But at this point, I'm thinking what they're doing is idiotic and, like I said, embarrassing a great tag team. So the following segment that they did a video showing what led to Slaughter versus Helmsley. The video and they also did a video package for Sergeant Slaughter, like he needed that.
They a video package of him like way back in the days. They didn't even show him like in the 90s.
WrestleMania 7.
Right, they don't show anything that he did in the 90s, but like way back in the day, right? When he was over and he was a baby face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why they're showing him 20 years ago, whatever it is. And they go into this match, and I felt like what you should have done in this match was have Slaughter gets his stuff in a little bit, right? Maybe like a 8 to 10 minute match. Slaughter gets a little bit of his moves in, and then Hunter just beats the hell out of him. The fact that this thing dragged out for like, I don't know, 17 minutes, 15, 17, whatever it was.
So you got it right, 17.
Way too long.
Yeah. And what's funny is Sergeant Slaughter comes out to Patriots or Kurt Angle's music, whatever you want to call it, recycled entrance theme there. And you're right, it was dragged out way too long.
Dragged it out.
And, Triple H went for the ring bell at this point, but what's funny because the timekeeper, Mark Eaton, actually stopped him from taking the bell. I mean, this guy was brazen to do this. And Triple H, hits him with it. China knocked out the ref.
Yeah, China did.
It's funny because, she's doing this, yet she could just get involved in this match because there's no disqualifications and no countouts.
Right.
So it's like, why are you going after the referee? Just get involved in the match. If you're gonna do it.
I don't know. Slaughter was out of shape. He was old, man.
He was at like this shit. Point.
Yeah, it was.
It pretty much Slaughter got the Cobra Clutch on Hunter. Again, China kicks him with a low blow to like the hold. Hunter gets the pedigree and the pin on Slaughter.
Thank God.
So it's like, what's the point? Slaughter was if anybody should have been in this match, because I'm gonna talk about how the main event shouldn't have been. This should have been Ken Shamrock versus Triple H, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the main event should have been Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So, and Slaughter, if anything, Slaughter should have just been in Shamrock's corner.
Yeah, they just
if you want to do that, but
yeah, they just wanted to get Triple H over, so you couldn't. Like, that's all it was.
By embarrassing Slaughter, which isn't saying much.
I isn't saying much. I agree.
So, following that, Michael Cole introduced your boy Jeff Jarrett with his ring debut.
How about this? Michael Cole says the moment everyone has been waiting for, the in-ring debut of Jeff Jarrett.
Anybody waiting for that?
Who's everyone? Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Mike Graham.
Yeah. Dude, when Jeff Jarrett came out, you could hear a rat piss on cotton. Nobody. Oh, it was like
seriously.
It was just silence. Silence.
Oh my God! Yes, true.
And he's with the NWA. Oh, he's representing the NWA, and he's dressed in the Native.
Oh, wait till we get to the No Way Out pay-per-view with that faction. Oh my God!
But like I said, he broke 6,000 guitars. He never drew a dime.
Oh, I love that reference. Oh man,
that's the truth.
It was the truth, man. You didn't hear anybody. You had to sneeze up in the balcony.
Yeah, crickets.
And he's coming out. Now, this is what didn't make any sense. Jeff Jarrett's facing The Undertaker. Why? Taker right now is involved in two storylines with his brother Kane and with Shawn Michaels. Now, obviously, he's not going to face Shawn Michaels at this pay-per-view because they wanted it to be at the Rumble. So why is he facing Jeff Jarrett? Why is he even on the card?
Why is he even on the card? Supposedly Vince Russo loved Jeff Jarrett, and so Russo was really trying to push him, but whatever. Anyway.
Because once again, during this match, the lights go out.
Yep.
Here comes Kane. Jarrett, I love how Jarrett told Kane to get Taker.
Right, yeah.
Like he controls him now. Kane chokeslammed Jarrett and
Thank God.
And Taker.
Thank God he chokeslammed Jeff Jarrett. He did everybody a big favor.
Yeah, he chokeslams Jarrett. Taker gets disqualified.
Right.
So Jarrett beats the Undertaker.
And then he attacks him after the match too. Jarrett attacks Undertaker. And then I think Undertaker chokeslams him, right? I think he chokeslams.
Yeah, he tried to put the figure four on Taker after Kane went after him, but then he got chokeslammed by the Undertaker. So now, this is twice now that Kane's come out during his match. Pretty much told him, let's go. Didn't do anything.
I won't fight you, brother.
So Jarrett gets credit for taking a victory over the Undertaker in a match that didn't make any sense to sign to begin with.
No.
So now following this segment, oh Lord, Michael Cole had interviewed Mark Henry, who's in the stands, and he's like, I'm a couple of weeks from coming back. Yeah, you're a couple of weeks from being in the nation. So, we're looking forward to seeing you in there. So now the next segment, I love this match. I love this feud. Unfortunately, it was too short. They showed what led up to Austin and Rock because Stone Cold Steve Austin is defending the Intercontinental title against The Rock. I love the whole segment when if you see 316 on your beeper,
the beeper,
and I love it when he checks in. Austin's right behind him.
This was great stuff. The Rock is coming to his own. He's just starting to come into his own right now.
Oh yeah,
this is the beginning of one of the greatest feuds of all time.
Definitely, it's just a shame that this feud was just like.
Well, we get to see it later. We get to see it later on,
but not the Nation.
Right, but not with the Nation involved. But The Rock stole the IC title. That was a big thing that was going on in this feud.
Oh yeah, and when Austin comes out in the truck, he throws D'Lo through the windshield, stuns him on the top.
Yeah, he stunned him right on the yeah.
He's beating the hell out of all the Nation, which I'm sitting there watching this pay-per-view and I'm loving it.
It was great stuff. Austin was
only one problem. It was 5.5 minutes.
It was short. But you know what? I didn't mind only because I know we get to see this again. But at the time, yeah,
at the time, you're not sure that because remember the next night, Austin gives up the title and says, "I'm going on. I have bigger plans. Right. So here you go."
Right, but I'm just saying, we didn't know, but later on they feud for the main title. heavyweight title. You know?
WrestleMania 15.
Yeah. So no, this was great. It was well done.
I mean, it was funny how he's going for the stunner. Austin accidentally stuns the referee when he thinks it's The Rock. He then stunned Rock again. Referee counted the pin. Steve Austin keeps the Intercontinental title, but like I said, the following night on Raw, he's going to give it up. Tells The Rock, "Here you go. I'm doing something else." And it's funny because it came down at the Rumble. It came down to those two guys. So, and then the classic stun. Rock is like, "What the hell?" Gets thrown out the ring. So now on to the main event where they show the video package on Ken Shamrock and what happened the last previous Monday on Raw where he got walloped with the chair. Oh, my God. And then, of course, this is typical Shawn Michaels. They show Shawn in the ankle lock, the lollipop still in his mouth.
Yeah, I know. Which is no selling the.
And it was on several documentaries that he's like,
just Shawn doing
that. They called him an asinine prick at one point on one of the documentaries because of him doing that.
That's just Shawn being Shawn at that point.
And then of course the Monday Night Raw where he's twisting his leg around to get ready for it. Now this is where I've said that this match, as a result of what happened at Survivor Series, should have been Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart in a no holds barred match.
Yeah, you had the perfect setup because of what happened in Montreal. Owen trying to avenge his brother, them going into a main event program together. They had already fought twice. Well, no, they had fought once. I'm not counting the IC champion stuff. I'm talking about very recently in DX. Remember, they actually fought on my birthday, and it was champion versus champion. Shawn was the Euro champion, and Owen was the Intercontinental champion, and Austin came out and interfered in that match. You could have had them. This would have been a major main event feud, but for whatever reason, I've heard different stories. I heard Vince didn't think that Owen was a main eventer, and then I heard that Shawn and Owen didn't like. I'm sorry, Shawn and Hunter didn't like Owen really, so they kind of buried it. Which Triple H ends up burying him after this. They keep calling
constantly, yes.
He constantly whips his ass, beats him, calls him the Nugget. They embarrass him.
Wound up forcing him to go heel again. Which I liked him as a fan favorite.
The Blackheart. He was awesome as the Black. It lasted 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then he goes and joins the Nation.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Going forward through 98. So
they completely botched this. It should have, because then, you know what's so... All right, we'll get to the end of the match and then I'll jump back.
Well, the one thing I want to bring up during this match between Shawn Michaels and Ken Shamrock is the fact that Jerry Lawler had mentioned that Shawn Michaels got rid of the Hart Foundation. Lawler asked him, how so? He says, well, Brett went south. Bulldog is injured, which we already know Bulldog has left. And Neidhart last Monday, and Owen, they got rid of Neidhart the week before. And then, of course, they said Owen is in an insane asylum.
Right. He's a sole survivor.
Yeah. So, and during this match, numerous times DX gets involved because it's not even a one-on-one match.
Yeah, it's a world heavyweight title match. The Euro title is still not on the line, I believe. It's only because Shawn is still the European champion. He doesn't lose it to Hunter till when he just lays down for Hunter a couple weeks later.
On the Monday Night Raw.
It was the same month. I thought the match was fine. There's a really nasty spot where I'm surprised Shamrock didn't hurt his neck really bad. I don't know if you caught it. When Shawn throws Shamrock to the ropes, his head goes underneath the top rope and pops back out.
Yeah, he got lucky on that one.
Yeah,
because I thought he had gotten a stinger right there.
Yeah,
but luckily, he was fine and able to finish the match.
Well, like you said, constant interference.
Always with Chyna and Triple H down there. They continue to attack on Shamrock. Michaels has separated himself. All of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes Owen Hart.
Yeah.
And Shamrock wins the match by disqualification.
By DQ, yeah.
But the best part of this match was when Owen threw him through the table and was real. You can't tell me those weren't legitimate shots.
Those were some live rounds. He threw some live rounds, yeah.
And I honestly think that Shawn probably was like, okay, I deserve the receipt.
He didn't actually, but the thing is I heard the story from Pritchard. He said that what Owen did was he bladed his fingers. It was really like a no blood policy, but Owen said, screw it. He bladed his fingers a little bit. So when he was hitting Shawn, then it was actually Owen's blood. that was on Sean. It wasn't, and he was like pretending like he was trying to like gouge his eyes.
Yeah.
This was all that stuff was well done. It's just the aftermath of this that doesn't make any sense. Because then they fight on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then it's a DQ. I think does Triple H interfere in that match?
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's like a DQ ending. When
Always.
Owen fights Sean for the title on Raw. I think it was like around Christmas. It was around there.
I say it should have been here. Even if Owen, yeah, okay. We know Owen's not going to get the
or
title.
the Rumble or the Royal Rumble.
Well, you remember, you still got the Shawn Michaels Undertaker thing
That
going.
feud
Still
has already been. Why is that still going? Because they go from Undertaker, right, back to back, Undertaker to Ken Shamrock to back to the Undertaker. Now I know
and then he gets hurt.
Right. So, man, they just ruined this, man. They ruined that whole Blackheart, like what could have been an Owen and Sean feud. Owen deserved it. Owen was a main eventer, and for whatever reason, Vince, Sean, Triple H,
and wasn't it Vince gave Owen more money or said he supposedly tells him, "You're the one that I want here." Why did you want him there? You're gonna bury him.
He wanted to leave. He wanted to go with Brett, and
honestly, I don't blame him.
Vince said, "I'm not letting you out of your contract, but here, I'll give you some extra money just to shut you up." That's a long story short.
You know what I would tell if I was Owen, I would have told him, "Give me the main event at DX in your house, and I'll be fine."
Yeah, I don't know much.
Because let me avenge my family.
I don't know, man. From what I understand, Owen was just basically worried about his biggest concern was his family, meaning like his wife and his kids. And putting food on the table.
You know WCW would have grabbed him.
No, but they wouldn't let him out of the contract is my point. That was the point.
Oh, so he would sit out and not get paid?
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten. So it was like he was kind of between a rock and a hard place. I don't blame Owen for any of this. I blame Vince.
No, in this case, I blame Vince 100%.
Yeah. So,
but because you just you finally had something great with Owen and you just shit on it.
Yeah, I didn't like the. I didn't like the way this match was fine. I just don't like the aftermath. I did like Sean's getup, man. He looked pretty cool in that green and the green and black DX. He didn't really wear that a lot.
No,
the green and black DX stuff, the tights.
No, it was mainly this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
because it was the DX pay-per-view.
Yeah, but
it is what it is, man. Yeah. But it could have been. It should have been so different. Like I said, I felt like this was some throw together. The Jarrett Taker.
But didn't you think at the ending of this match, that's what they were setting up? Owen versus Sean in a main event program?
Oh, I looked at a friend of mine that was watching this with me, and I said, I bet you they're going to fight each other.
Right, I couldn't wait, and they had a history.
I thought it was going to be the Rumble.
Yeah, and they had a history from when Owen took him out when he was the IC champ.
They had the In Your House match where the winner would go to WrestleMania.
Remember, he kicked him in the head, and
he was responsible for his career possibly ending.
Right.
And this would have been great.
When they do end up fighting, he actually kicks him in. I thought he was going to win the title that night on Raw. I should have known better. Because
shortly after In Your House, they announced at the Rumble that it was going to be Shawn versus Taker in a casket match, and I'm like,
why are we going back to this?
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know. Well, because they needed a main eventer in that match. I don't know what the real reason why. I don't. But look what it wound up costing. It wound up costing Shawn Michaels 4 years of his career because of the skit with the casket when he hit the edge of it, and then he can't go to No Way Out, which was actually a good thing. Because that No Way Out main event might have hurt him. So it's better that he's probably not in that. But, I mean, the result of the injury at the Rumble, he still put on one of the best performances at WrestleMania 14 that I've ever seen from somebody injured in a match. So, I mean.
It is what it is.
At this point, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our In Your House review. DX, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.